Hey everybody, welcome to the Anthony and Todd Show. It's your boy Big Baby, Big Slimmy, Big Jimmy, Bronco, Baklavala, Holla Holla. It's your host, Trevor, and I'm here with my best friend, my pal, my amigo, Vincent.
Hey.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest record from Action Bronson, only for Dolphins, because we, as humans, don't deserve him. Action Bronson is an American rapper, singer, TV star, chef, and writer, doctor, chiropractor, olive oil taster.
Just chugs olive oil by the bottle.
Imagine, that'd be so gross. It's like when people talk about drinking peanut butter.
No, I don't want to imagine that. That sounds disgusting. How do you wet down peanut butter? Like, get it to like a liquid form?
You gotta have a strong esophagus. You gotta work it out.
Hope you're ready for just photoshops of like Action Bronson like eating peanut butter.
I am. Action Bronson has released 5 albums up until this point, 4 mixtapes, and 3 EPs. The guy's been super busy. He was originally a gourmet chef in New York, but after he broke his leg in the kitchen, I assume he slipped on a banana peel. It's such a classic gag. He decided to focus solely on his rap career. But also he got involved in making TV content for Viceland. He had his own little like Action in the Kitchen show on YouTube, so he's no stranger to the camera. And he hosted the Untitled Action Bronson show and F That's Delicious on Viceland, which neither of those are still on. I think he also did a thing with Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, where he would just
which he didn't
stoned.
Actually like. He wasn't on Ancient Aliens. He just watched Ancient Aliens on camera.
It's pretty ahead of a time if you think about it. Like, I don't know, like 3 years later, like there's a ton of shows like that because of COVID.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
just people watching shit.
He is ahead of his time. Only for Dolphins is Action Bronson's 6th studio album, and I was a little unsure of this before I went in. Action Bronson I find to be a really genuine figure in the rap community. I just really like his bars, his braggadocious attitude, but I still find him to be like really relatable in a sense. Like, he's just funny and he raps about like the things that he likes. He has a lot of great like one-liners about things like wrestling and cooking and different like gourmet foods and places he's traveled, which I think are just really funny. You really don't have to look any further for like a better single than Baby Blue back in 2015 with Chance the Rapper off of Mr. Wonderful. I thought that track was awesome. That was my first introduction to him. But his track record up until this point, I feel like has been kind of spotty. His last 2 albums, Blue Chips 7000, had a couple of good tracks like The Chairman's Intent.
I would say everything since his mixtape stage really has been kind of spotty. Like Mr. Wonderful had some amazing like breakout moments for him where he like tried to push himself, like Baby Blue and Easy Rider, where he would like challenge himself over different styles of production or like try to be more vocal heavy on some tracks. But I feel like it just was inconsistent with the ideas he wanted to convey, moving on to Blue Chip 7000, which was just really weak overall and really didn't showcase enough of his charisma. And that would kind of go down through the rest of his later projects. White Bronco was pretty inconsistent, really didn't showcase a lot of personality for him. Lamb Over Rice with The Alchemist was really, really spotty at times and just showcased how kind of far he's come in the sense that he really wasn't showing anything on that project, which is a very big surprise because all the singles for this, Latin Grammys, GoldenEye, and Mongolia, were completely filled with charisma, and I was definitely shocked about the change Bronson was making with this latest project because it actually showcased, it felt like he was trying a lot more. In a time where I felt like I knew what to expect from Bronson, it felt like he was shaking up the formula and taking us back to, I guess, the style he was making on Blue Chips 1 and 2.
Yeah, I found when that first single Latin Grammys came out, I just couldn't get enough of that with these infectious looping horns, his crazy music video where he was in a strongman competition. Yeah, I find Latin Grammys to be an incredibly infectious single, a lot of hilarious one-liners. And then the other 2 singles leading up to that, GoldenEye and Mongolia, which features a hologram and his longtime friend and collaborator Mayhem Loren. Both of those singles I found to be really fun with a lot of fun one-liners as well. But I really wondered if these the energy of those singles could bleed into the full project.
Overall, I think that energy's kept up pretty much throughout this entire thing. A moment where I felt like Action Bronson's career was pretty deflated in the sense of his music. More of his television personality career seemed where he's more notable nowadays. I felt like when the stakes were low, Action Bronson raised the bar for himself, which was really nice at this point of his career, of just getting a really consistent project out with a ton of charisma and relatability. I think the nothing's really switched up on this project because like the only thing that's changed has been him. He's like working with the same style beats, the same producers. I think maybe the only new one is Derringer. I don't know if they've collaborated before, but people like Sam I Am, Alchemist, Harry Fraud, DJ Muggs, like people he's collaborated before in the past. Like there's no huge switch up really on here besides him. It just seems like he's more focused. The vibe, the atmosphere throughout the entire album is pretty consistent. It only runs about 35 minutes. There isn't really a huge shakeup that causes the album to get out of control, or he doesn't seem to really master a certain skill on this or that. It works consistently throughout. I think that's a blessing and a curse at sometimes because he doesn't shake things up enough. But I think I'd rather have a more consistent album with a more focused Bronson than him taking a risk that he couldn't handle.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about singles like Easy Rider and Baby Blue from earlier in his career, and those were really great standout moments, but honestly, he couldn't justify that risk on the rest of the project. And this one, I find it has that same like opulent vibe that he's always going for. But this time, you're right. I feel like he really lives up to that. The focused lyrics really drive this project. And one thing I really enjoy about this is that each track is bite-sized enough to where it feels like it never overstays its welcome. You can easily distinguish between all of the different tracks by their different sounds and production to some of his famous intros and one-liners and crazy AKAs that he uses. The only time that I feel like we get bogged down is towards the end of the project with some of these longer tracks like Marcus Aurelius and Hard Target. Throughout the whole project, we are seeing tracks that would just graze 3 minutes. But towards the end, we get into these two longer tracks. One's 4 and some change. The other is 5 and some change. Sometimes I feel like it's just too much Bronson to handle there.
I think while Hard Target is the longest track, and while it may not be a great closer, it doesn't really leave you with much to think about, I think his performance is way more consistent than anything he's put out in the last, 5 years.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It still is more focused lyrics there, but sometimes I think it's just not enough switch-ups. It's too samey of production to drive the entire track. I don't always feel like his charisma can always take over the entire track and fill up all that space. But for the majority of the time, I think that the production switch up between tracks is enough to save us from getting bored.
I think I really don't have any super much to say. I think he's consistently entertaining, inciting, and fun. This is what got me into Bronson in the first place, was the style of charisma and performance from him. It seems like he's actually putting in the work to better himself on this project.
And it's exciting because I feel like he's really not in a place in his career where he has to do that. He's been making music for a while now and also has been on TV and on YouTube and made his presence well known to where I don't feel like if he switched up his game at this point, like if he didn't try any harder, his fans would still keep coming back. But I feel like he did that for himself, and I appreciate that more because of it.
Keep in mind, though, scores if you tell meaningless right now. I think this is an 8. I think it's awesome.
I do as well.
And I want to hear more from this style of Bronson in the future because, I don't know, I think there's definitely some more risk he can take in the future. There's definitely more room to grow and experiment, but if we continually get consistent music like this, I'm not going to complain either way. Yeah,
the only thing that I might like to see is maybe some more features next time. I appreciate that he left this project up to himself. The only people that were on here were Hologram and Mayhem, but he's worked with Mayhem, I think, on just about every project that he's put out so far. So yeah, that was kind of a given. That's like having Conway and Benny on a West Side Gun project.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to be there. But next time, I think I'd like to see him work with some more people. On White Bronco, he worked with ASAP Rocky, and I think that that really had potential to be a cool collaboration, but I don't remember it really panning out that well.
It was
I
bad.
think,
It was very
yeah,
bad. But
I,
they also did that. What is that? One Train track off of Long Live ASAP. That was pretty good. That posse cut with like 900 other people on it.
yeah,
That was pretty good.
champions.
Yeah, Champions with Kanye West, Big Sean, Little Kim, Little Wayne,
My cousin
Designer,
Nicole.
Big Sean, the 93 LA Lakers, and J. Cole. Until next time, guys, if you want to follow us on social media, find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Anthony and Todd. You can find us on Podbean, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, and Spotify by searching Anthony and Todd Show in your favorite podcast browser. If you want to support us monetarily, find us at patreon.com/The Anthony and Todd Show. And until next time, guys, I've been Vincent.
I'm Trevor.
And see you, boys.
And bye, everybody.